relax. Try laughing out loud.
What?
Come on, show me.
Ha 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 ha!
You probably shouldn't laugh ever again.
Okay. That was our lovely Becca and our wonderful friend Nick.
I'm not lovely too?
No, you're not.
No,
That
I'm
hurts.
lovelier than you
That
are.
hurts.
Okay. We are nerds, we are many. I'm Schwander.
Nick!
I'm Becca.
Kyle. And we have our friend
This is Rob.
Rob here with us.
Richenberg. See,
Richenberg.
I always pronounce it that hard CK. I make
It's
it
nice
like
to meet
Ricken,
you.
and then I want to say like Rickenbacker, and I know that's wrong.
That's fine. They go by Rickenbacker from now on.
Cool.
Hey, we got a new nickname for him.
Awesome.
Okay, so our topic was supposed to be comics and video games today, but we had a scheduling conflict.
Because
with
Cody sucks. That's a lie.
Because Cody has a
Cody's
job.
great.
We love
If
you,
you're
Cody.
Listening, you're great.
He's not.
Shut up.
Listening, that
Don't
is.
be mad to people.
Okay.
Be mad to
Great
people.
answer.
That's
So-
true.
Don't be
So,
mean to
um,
people,
yeah.
not mad.
Once Nick and I found this out, we were talking, and we decided that we'd decide to talk about females in video games. Specifically,
Yay.
strong female characters in video games. Because Nick and I often get off on tangents when we're sitting alone talking about nothing.
Well, so the main reason this particular topic kind of strikes me is because I grew up like predominantly surrounded by girls, so I lived with my mom, and like I had a lot of like chick friends growing up and stuff like that. Like I lived with my friend who I always thought was my big sister, turns out she wasn't. So like I have a lot of like in media for like it specifically.
Wait, you thought somebody was your sister and they weren't your sister?
Yeah. We like
That
grew up
doesn't make
together,
any-
and I always thought that she was my big sister. And then like when I was like 6, it was like, wait a minute, me and Rita aren't related. Weird. Yeah,
Okay.
whatever. Don't question
going,
it.
keep
yeah.
going, keep going, sorry.
But just from that, I'm kind of hypersensitive to like, I wouldn't say like feminism in media, but just female characters that don't abide by like the damsel kind of standard. So that's what I wanted to talk about today.
Damsel standard. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you and I were talking about the Bechdel test?
Yeah, I think that's how it's
What?
pronounced. So it's funny. We may have to censor this. So it originated from a comic book in, I believe, 1979 called, and I gotta double check this.
If it's a name, we won't have to censor it.
Okay, well, no, it features curse words.
Oh,
That's
no.
Fine. If it's a
Okay.
name, it's fine. If we're not just blatantly just cursing.
Yeah, well, that's
So I
kind of...
can't just play.
No.
I wasn't going to. I was just gonna.
You're
see
too nice to do that,
What
Becca.
happened?
I didn't know what I signed
Dude,
up
I swear.
Yeah, I know. We have to kind of watch our mouths on here.
You especially.
I know.
Dagnabbit.
No, that's
Go
not,
ram it.
Gosh darn it!
yeah, just curse in Firefly curses. You're
Great
fine.
googly moogly.
Profanities.
Actually, Google it because my reception on my phone is terrible.
What
but
am I googling?
the Bechdel test.
How do you even spell that?
Good thing Google has autocorrect.
DECH.
DEL.
Yeah, it originated in
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Yeah, it originated from a comic book strip, and actually, it says the title right there.
Dykes to watch out for.
Yes, dykes to watch out for. But what the test is in a movie or a video game or a book or something, are there two female characters? Are they both named? And do they talk about something that isn't directly related to a male character? And most things in media actually don't meet that rule. And Becca's geeking out about something.
Oh no, I was I was on Facebook.
Tisk tisk.
I'm sorry. Somebody said something about Bruce Banner, and they. Okay,
No.
I'm gonna read you what they said, and I was laughing at it because my friend on Facebook was where did it go? Oh no. They said
Super
that
relevant.
they were talking about. They were thinking about Bruce Banner, and they accidentally called him Bruce Banana, and I just thought it was really funny. I didn't mean to.
It's
It was just- it was funny. Anyway, that's not besides the point.
Okay, continue with the Bechdel test.
What were you saying?
Well, just from that, I want to talk about video games that have female protagonists that don't abide by, like I was saying, like the damsel standard. So it's not them constantly searching for like the approval of a male figure or something like that. And
Yeah.
the game I would like to start talking about is Mass Effect, because I think that is an exemplary example.
I've sort of played that game.
You should. It's great.
Not entirely, because my brother owns it, and my brother's a butt. If you're listening,
Okay,
you
Tiny
are
Tina.
A butt. No, because he owns most of the video games, because I'm the girl in the family, and I don't get video games, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, so if he sees me playing it for a little bit, I play for like 10 minutes, and he's like, give me that back, that looks fun. And I'm like, well...
Guess
It's not
that's
my
done.
game, so...
Wah,
yeah.
Also,
I told you could borrow one of my Xbox.
This is true. Let's do that. I want to.
is Xbox Xbox
No.
giggity.
No.
So I'm gonna send it off to everybody else because I have a bad habit of just rolling over these podcasts just by myself because I'm very chatty.
Well, we all tend to be. Once we get off on something, it just kind of goes.
But so when I realized that Mass Effect and their portrayal of female characters, especially Femme Shepard, was really different. So like I played through my first run like as dude Shep. And loved it. I was like, this is awesome. It's like being Captain Kirk. I get to bang blue chicks. This is the best. I then started my second playthrough, and I was like, yeah, I'll try making like a girl character. I can't imagine it'd be any different. But there was one scene in particular where, as male Shepard, you approach this like commander in like a bar or whatever, and he's just kind of belligerent and angry and drunk. If you approach him as female Shepard, instead of just like complaining about the alliance, he's like, hey there, why don't you sit on daddy's lap? What's up, baby? So obviously I was like, screw this guy, renegade option. But I felt so much more, like, I guess not empathy, but I felt so much more connected to the character because FemShep has so many more hurdles to overcome because of her gender, so many people are so, like, they don't expect this greatness from her that they do from male Shepard, which is kind of funny.
Can't you also bang blue chicks as Femme Shepard?
Yes,
You can.
Yeah,
Yep.
Liara's down for anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly,
It's
BioWare,
fantastic.
whatever, man, it's like
I
the
love
60s.
The problem with this I found is no one's going to see air quotes on a podcast, but blue chicks. I found an entire massive discussion about people talking about whether the Asari actually count as females.
Yeah.
And it was just like, well,
Technically not really.
No, they're
technically not
asexual.
really, but
Oh, yeah.
they're presented
Well,
as
asexual
females,
must
so
mean a
is that
different
counts?
Yeah.
thing in
And if
this.
the internet says it counts,
Because,
then-
like,
That's true.
my friend, he calls him, he is asexual. So that is like an entirely different sort of kind of asexual. So
See, like,
that word confuses me.
I'm asexual to the extent that sponges are. I reproduce via budding. Little nicks pop out of my shoulder.
my
It's
God.
terrifying.
We're not going to get into this because I promised Kyle we wouldn't get into the politics and all that crazy stuff, but they're asexual and they don't need a male to reproduce.
Okay. That's not how it means.
If anything, they're just sort of
It's
they're
bacteria or germs.
My
Yeah.
my
Or
friend
honestly,
group,
kinda like
that's not how it
snails.
means. It means that they don't
hermaphroditic.
like to have sexual
Yeah.
activity, and that's
That's what it
How
means.
they-
That
it's weird. Okay.
Anyways.
It's not that it's weird. It's
I'm
fine.
sorry,
You can
I'm
do
sorry.
whatever you want to do. You're
Whatever,
great.
like-
I love you all.
Now Beck is
You
offending
be
people.
you. I'm
We're
sorry.
already hitting the.
8. We're 8.6.
Oh, well.
I apologize.
Okay, back to the topic at hand. The game doesn't only there's more than that scene that changes when you play as Femme Shepard. The game is drastically different actually when you play as the female
Oh, yeah.
as opposed to the male.
That was just the first thing I noticed.
Yeah, it's recommended by BioWare that once you play the game through as a male, you go through it again as a female.
And honestly, I think because she just had more crap to deal with, that ended up being my main playthrough. That was the one that I brought through 1, 2, and 3. And she's the only one that I like brought through the whole way. But I guess I felt for that struggle so much more. I don't know, any other games unless more Mass Effect stuff?
Yeah, just shout outs to Jennifer Hale for knocking it out of the
Oh,
park.
yeah.
Well,
Sure.
everything, yes, everything she's done. Another game that comes to mind when we're talking about strong female leads is the modern day Tomb Raider remake.
Yeah. Did you play that, Rob?
I haven't played it yet.
So good.
Nick, have you played it?
Yes.
Okay. It completely revamps the original breakdown of Laura Croft. She's not this super busty girl who jumps around like she's one of the Flying Graysons.
Yay!
Well, okay, so yes and no.
That makes me happy.
The character model still has large breasts,
Well,
but it's
But that's
it's
not
less
the only thing
it's
about her
less of
now.
the focal point exactly.
They're not excessively large.
That's-
They're not like she
they're
stands
not
up. They
like-
cause wind shear large.
Yeah, 'cause, like, a lot of the way females are judged in or made in video games is their boobs are way too big for their bodies.
Bayonetta?
You can't kill somebody when your boobs are just hanging out in the way all the time.
They catch air, it hurts your back.
It hurts. You can't run and jump as well as everybody else can because your boobs are obnoxious. This is like the thing. Like it really bothers me because I know a lot of people that have huge boobs It's not realistic.
It'd be funny if, and they really took, especially so. What is it? Ninja Theory.
Team Ninja.
Team Ninja.
They
Ninjas.
have made their bread and they have just made their fortune on.
Boobies.
Dead or alive.
Though, wouldn't it be funny if they really upped the realism and like Kasumi went to do some like crazy acrobatic high jump, and she gave herself like a black eye with her boob?
My friend's
Yeah, she
mother
throws
has
her back
done
out. Throws her back out.
Like, it's hard going upstairs and running places and jumping jacks are really difficult. You have to have on proper support. It's not a fun time.
There's an entire webcomic about this. The name of the particular one escapes me, but it talks about the differences in armor modeling between males and females.
Yeah!
Female, there's like a whole checklist. It's like pick two, you don't get anything else. It's like you can get proper support or, actual protection. It's just like, why do you need molded boobs in your breastplate?
You don't need molded boobs. You don't. It's not
It's
necessary.
for the same reason that George Clooney needed like molded abs in Batman. It's part of the mystique of the character, but it serves no practical use.
It doesn't.
And he had bat nipples, which actually did have bat milk lubricant in them. So.
And here comes the lasso to rein us back in.
Yep.
Okay, back to Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Tomb Raider.
Sorry.
The character doesn't have extremely large breasts. She's more built like Becky here.
Good.
Which is a humanistic character.
Yeah, no, it's true.
She's more real, and she's also not jumping on fighting giant T-Rexes with handguns.
Beautiful.
Which I'm a little disappointed about, but that's my own thing. I just like
T-
watching T-Rexes die.
You gotta settle some.
Go play Dino Crisis.
Yeah, Dino Crisis.
Playing Dino Crisis.
I don't know what that is.
It's made by the same people that make Resident Evil, but you fight dinosaurs instead of zombies.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound as much fun.
The
I like
second
fighting
one is
zombies.
insanely fun.
Yeah, no, I like Dino
blowing
Crisis too. It
zombies'
was awesome.
brains out.
And actually, another good example. I think actually Resident Evil is good about that.
Yeah.
Like Jill Valentine. Jill Valentine's awesome. Rage! Rage!
Go!
Kyle, let it out! Let it out!
Combo breaker. That's who I was gonna say.
Well, now take it away to our resident Evil expert. See what I did? See what I did?
Tell you.
Jill Valentine pretty much done. Although I played Resident Evil 2 before Resident Evil 1, and Claire was there, and I'm just like, yeah, this is nice. And just the whole dynamic between her and Sherry, what that happens. I'm like, this is really nice.
Yeah.
And then I play Resident Evil 1, and I get to Jill, and I'm just like, damn.
This girl is the shiznit.
And then I played Resident Evil 3. Damn.
Master of unlocking.
The only thing isn't her outfit like some really, really small uniform?
Yeah, for 3, she wears a tube top and short and like a skirt.
But also, she wasn't on duty. Like, it was her day off.
There's a couple of reasons for that, which was kind of clever from Capcom back when they had the capability to be clever. The whole thing with RE3 is both a prequel and sequel to 2.
Dare you say a pre-sequel?
Yeah, even that.
Poor Lance.
The word is intercule.
Thank you. But yeah, the first part of Resident Evil 3 happens before 2, and then there's an event in Resident Evil 3 that happens in which the entirety of Resident Evil 2 happens, and then Resident Evil 3 finishes up. But yeah, in the opening, the zombies are everywhere, and Jill isn't on the police force anymore because everybody left, and she's getting ready to leave too, and then zombie outbreak happens, and then her apartment explodes, and that had just happened to be what she was wearing on her way out.
Yeah.
See,
Spoilers.
I remember
The first 5 minutes of the game.
in one of the movies.
Oh,
because
God.
she's
Oh,
wearing,
no,
she's
no,
wearing
no.
the same outfit in the movie, though.
Yeah, that's
She's
true.
wearing
Which
the
we
same
talked about
exact
this last
outfit.
time.
But she willingly went out to fight zombies in that outfit.
Yeah, in the
You see
movie.
her,
But
it's
in
like,
the movie,
I'm in my apartment.
she's
I'm
like,
wearing
oh,
this.
there's zombies. I'm going to the police department. I'm going to put on a tube top and heels and a very short skirt. No, you wear tight clothes, but tight. Really, like I have a whole plan for the zombie apocalypse. I'm going to cut all my hair
Not
off.
everyone is that prepared.
That will be a future podcast.
Yes,
How to
please.
prepare for the zombie
I have
apocalypse.
a huge plan. I have it written down. I'll bring it in.
I already have my plan. Seppuku.
I'm going to live and survive.
See, I'm going to be a zombie.
kill
We'll,
all
we'll,
the
we'll act
zombies.
out that every fighting game ever thing.
Oh,
from Rocket
yeah.
Jump.
That's really funny.
Anyway, female protagonist.
Actually, Rob, you've been soaking it all in, but yeah, what's your input there, buddy?
I played through 75 games in the past 3 days trying to find games that met this test.
Yeah?
You
Found
played through
3.
Really?
Yes.
75?
Not the entirety of games, but as Nick knows, I have a very large game collection.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mass Effect.
Yep.
The thing that particularly stuck out was the Matriarch Benezia thing.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
first game. It was WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2010.
Oh my god.
Honestly, no, it makes sense.
Not what you would have expected as a bastion of feminism, but like there's a scene where two wrestlers are discussing the female championship. One of them like tells her boyfriend to like take a hike, we're talking business or something like that. And it's like it's technically not about it.
Yeah, no.
So and then Dragon Age.
Oh yeah,
The whole
absolutely.
Fleming Morgan thing, which is like the exact opposite of go kill my mom.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Oh my god.
I'm excited to see her in Inquisition. Anyone?
Me too. Big stuff. Honestly, I didn't play through Dragon Age. As much as I hate to admit that, I never beat it.
The first part of it. It's also my brother's game. So.
I have played through and beaten everything BioShock has put out on a main
BioWare.
console system.
BioWare.
BioWare.
I was like, well, BioShock is a whole.
I played them too. Now, everything BioWare's put out since the Knights of the Old Republic on the Xbox. I played Knights of the Republic, Knights of the Republic 2, Jade Empire, which was wonderful.
I like that game too.
Yeah.
I played Dragon Age. I regret playing Dragon Age 2, and I played all of
You
Mass Effect.
regret Dragon Age 2?
Massively. It is
played
the
it.
worst
Is it
things
really?
BioShock has done in
BioWare.
BioWare.
BioWare shock.
BioWare.
BioWare
Bioshock on
Like-
the brain. I think I know what other character you might be thinking. Perhaps.
Sure.
See, okay, I'm going to talk about BioShock, but I'm not going to talk about Elizabeth. Ready?
Okay.
Ready? I'm going to talk about Big Sister. Big Sister is amazing. I love her. I love her character.
Well, okay, now-
Even though she's not really like a... But Big Sister is one of... Because there's Big Daddy, and then there's Little Sister. And then, all of a sudden, there's Big Sister, and she's... doesn't take crap from nobody, and she's just great, and her costume's awesome, and I have dreams of cosplaying her one day, and I just love her.
The one thing that kind of bummed me out about that, and it's not really a big thing in the grand scheme of things, but when I first read that she was going to be an enemy, they didn't say she's going to be an enemy type. Just
Yeah.
an enemy. So I'm like, oh, so Bioshock seemed like a nemesis type character.
That's what I thought too.
And I'm like, that's awesome. And it's just like, no, you fight multiple ones. I'm like, and
Yeah, the first time I offed one, I was like, that was it? And then, like, another one popped up. I was like, oh, okay. Though I do like the idea of almost like Nemesis, this, like, entirely...
Well, she was supposed to be just one character. It wasn't supposed to be an enemy type at first.
Yeah, but...
I kind of really wish they stuck with that.
Damn you, 2K Marin.
But she's still cool.
Yes.
Well, oh, definitely, but I do like the idea of, like, a female character that is kind of like Nemesis, in that she's, like, completely single-minded in her path. Like, it is protect the little sisters, kill everyone that stands in my way, and the fact that she's a girl, like, doesn't even come into the, like, factor at all.
It's great. It's great. I like when there are girl characters, because I'm a girl, and I would rather play as a girl.
That and also,
Honestly.
it's a matter of, like, respectful female, like, presence in video games, because
Yeah.
you see a lot of the, like, save me, big macho man.
I know, it's stupid.
So
I don't
Bella
need a
in
much-
Twilight?
Yeah, exactly.
We're
let's
not even gonna talk
Yeah, let's
about
not
Twilight,
go into
okay?
that.
It's not even...
That ain't a video game.
That ain't no
No.
video
Well, we
game.
don't. Remember, we're not just video
I
games.
know we're
That's
not.
true, that's true.
Because we were going to have a talk about comic books.
That's true.
We are.
Yeah, but we're
It's
also
all-
not Twilight.
Is it okay if I come out of left field with a choice?
Yes.
Fat Princess.
Absolutely. And no, that works. Totally. I think that absolutely abides by the
I
ground
have
rules
yet
set.
to play Fat Princess.
It's fun. Like, as a game, it works.
I've
and
never
it's
even heard
cute
of
and it's
Fat Princess.
silly and weird. Technically, it's a tower defense, real-time strategy, kind of. Yeah, no, it's great. You play as the aptly titled Fat Princess. Well, kinda. And, like, all your minions and stuff. It's definitely worth checking out. Let me think. I had this huge, like, mental list prepared.
All right.
I gotta start making
Should
notes.
I just come in with the big one then?
Yeah.
Sans one certain game which we pretend doesn't exist, Samus.
Yes!
Yep.
Yes! Sorry.
Well,
I'm so
actually,
sorry.
let's talk about that one game that we don't want to talk about. Did you play Metroid Other M?
No.
Don't do it.
No, I haven't.
Terrible.
They picked a terrible time to change.
They
the
picked
voice
the
actor.
worst team.
It's like, hey, Jennifer Hale, do you want to do voice acting for Metroid? Yeah, okay, we just need you to grunt. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Metroid, okay, so you want me back, right? No. Here's a stage actor that's done like one play.
But the thing is, like,
All right, bye.
what made Samus so great, especially in the original one, was the revelation of the fact that it was a woman.
She was actually a woman.
Yeah, like-
that's my favorite because
That's
like
still a big
everyone
thing. Yeah.
goes through it. They're like, yeah, I'm this big macho guy in this suit, and then at the end, it's like takes off helmet. I'm a girl, and I'm like,
Flowing
yes,
blonde hair. But
because it was like such a huge. Nobody, a lot of people were not happy with it.
Oh, yeah.
And you know somewhere Shigeru Miyamoto was just like, yes.
Take it.
Yes.
But in Other M, they take away everything that made Samus so badass and awesome. All of her like independence and all of her like not needing other people. In Other M, they pretty much just reduce her to this like quivering like, oh no, what will happen to me without my big man around?
What?
Like, it's terrible.
Never played that.
Terrible.
Okay, here's the deal. You know how with every Metroid game you usually start with every power-up,
Yeah.
correct? And then there's an event that happens. It's perfectly reasonable, and you lose all your stuff, and it makes sense. In Metroid Other M, you literally start with everything, and then they're just like, no, you can't do that. We're going to tell you what you can use.
What?
And as you progress through the game, you're like, okay, Samus, we're kind of having a little more trouble, so I guess you can use missiles now. Like, I have
That's
power
so
bombs. I have
stupid.
the screw attack, and you're just saying you can't do that. And then
Terrible.
It had so much potential too, because the gameplay could have been great.
Yeah, it was like half original Metroid, half Metroid Prime, made by the guys who did Dead or Alive, which like they know how to do fighting games.
and Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, and Ninja Gaiden. So like I thought it was gonna be great, and it sucked.
And again, this
Sucked mother brain.
yeah. And then the one thing that
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
always freaks out about, the confrontation with Ridley and Other M.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
Mm.
It's like you've killed this guy, if we're talking continuity,
Like a dozen times?
About 2-3 times.
Yeah.
And this is the one time you're just like, oh my god, seriously. Okay, yeah, the place you're in's a little dark. And your friend kind of just flew off an edge, but he's about to come back in a second. But seriously.
Keep your shit together, Samus.
Come on.
Well, so
Space pterodactyls should be nothing.
Space Adactyls. Well, one thing I do want to bring to the table, and I'm actually going to sit back for this one so I don't just blab. Borderlands.
Yes. Okay. So
Everybody?
Yeah.
okay. Borderlands is
Tennis.
by far.
Yeah, tennis.
Patricia Tannis. There's Patricia Tannis. There's Lilith. There's Maya. There's Moxie. Moxie's great. She's
Moxie's a fucking badass.
She's over-sexualized, but
then
in the best way.
She uses it. Yeah.
to her advantage, which is fantastic. And then there's Scarlet,
Ellie.
Paige, Ellie's great.
Tiny Tina.
Oh, there's just
The Sheriff
so
of Lynchwood.
many great
Yeah.
characters, and I just
Is it just safe to say all of them?
Yeah, pretty much.
My issue with Borderlands is my
Oh.
issue with any game.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I'm gonna be the
Oh,
naysayer
no.
here.
She may kill you.
Any game where you can select a hero is kind of like it's a gray area because like it's in terms of actually passing the test. Like unless you're playing as Lilith, you're never going to have an
That's
interaction
true.
between two. It's like the same thing. It kind of comes down to the same thing with FemShep. Like
Yeah.
because you're selecting a female character, like you can go out of your way. I'm sure you could find someone in the game who will talk about something other than a guy.
Yeah.
It would actually be funny if you couldn't. Just every single
Well,
other female in the game. Like, oh
with-
my
Oh,
god.
Garrus.
With the Borderlands games, the player doesn't have any actual interaction with the people. It's just they do fetch quests, but the real interactions are between like Tannis and Lilith,
Yeah.
or
Even that, though, thinking about it, there really isn't any examples of two female characters talking to each other.
And
in
that's-
Borderlands, there's
that-
not. This
yeah,
is true.
This is why I brought this issue.
Yeah,
up.
no.
I have to be that guy.
Oh, no, that's
well,
good.
yeah. I don't know. Well, cause like.
See, like, it definitely has strong female leads, obviously.
Yeah.
But it definitely doesn't adhere to that set of rules. There's actually...
true.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
was actually going to point that out. Someone had brought up the fact that because a lot of video games aren't really dialogue driven unlike movies, they had considered like making a sub rule for other media where it's just like if they have significant interaction.
Yeah.
There was some game from the 80s on some console, Dreamcast XY or something. I wish.
from the '80s Dreamcast. What?
Yeah,
Time
there's
traveling.
Time traveling Dreamcast. That's why it's the XY.
Is it shaped like a TARDIS?
But they talk. It was the game had two female protagonists, but there was no dialogue.
Okay.
And for the longest time, it's like it eventually passed the technical rules of the test, but it was like 90% of the way through the game. Like you ask a female troll for help or something like that. It's like, oh, there you go.
Did it. Hooray.
Weird.
We're good.
Well, like the thing that I like about Borderlands is Lilith's character. Even if you don't play as her, you don't understand it. But if you do play as her, then she blows somebody's head off and she laughs about it. She's just like, yeah, loser, and it's so great, and she's just so powerful, and she just laughs at everything when she hits people, and it's fun.
But so does Tiny Tina. And
This
Tiny
is true.
Tina's only
I've never played as Tiny
You
Tina.
can't play as Tiny
I
Tina, sadly.
wish you could.
Yeah.
See, that's the other issue with female player characters is if you were to like select a character and hand it to someone else, you'd never know it's a female.
That's
so
true.
you could make the argument that like that kind of almost takes away from it a little bit. It's like playing, like, if anyone else has played TF2, like, the pirate was a girl.
Yeah.
You would never know that if you didn't watch that, like, one video from Valve where, like, they take off the helm. I guess it could be, like, some Norse dude with, like, long, flowing blonde hair,
Just
but
Fabio.
it's, you know.
Fabio
was secretly the pirate.
I knew it.
But,
ever since he got hit in the face by that bird on that roller coaster, he's like, I'm going to burn this whole world down.
You just never really know that it's a female, and I feel like that actually takes away from it a little bit.
It does. Actually, now I'm trying to think of games that try to do it, but really fail. Well, actually, honestly, there was one series, there was two of them on PlayStation 1 called Fear Effect.
Oh, boy.
Honestly, not a bad game.
It's
like,
not.
It's a solid PlayStation 1 era survival horror, but the whole, like, especially in the second one, all of their marketing, all of the ad revenue that they spent on this game was like, dude, our main characters, hot ladies, lesbotrons. Awesome high five, guys. And the thing is, what sucks is, like, that's how the game was, like, presented to a lot of people. That's why it got media attention, because you play as two lesbian females that are, like, in a relationship together. And it's a focal point. It gets brought up a couple of times. There's, like, a very, like, steamy, and I mean that literally, like, sex scene, but you don't, like, see anything or whatever. But, like, I'm disappointed because if my memory serves me correct, and also I haven't played this game in like 10 years, but like I'm pretty sure the way I remember it is that like the writing was really solid and like portrayed them as like
really well. The first Fear Effect game is really solid.
Yeah, and like it's not disrespectful. It's not like what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like
distasteful.
Yeah, thank you.
It really, you know, it doesn't matter how good a game is. It really comes down to the marketing. Like if you took I can't even think of a good example. I'm going to come up with something absurd.
Well, like the new Tomb Raider. If they advertised it like they did the old ones, just be like, boobs and guns and awesome.
I actually can't really appreciate that. I'm not really a nerd and I haven't seen Star Wars. I maybe shouldn't admit that on the internet.
That's okay. Wait, you've never seen... Wait.
No.
Wait, you've never seen
No,
what?
I'm not even a nerd. I don't know how you guys brought me on.
Wait,
I'm a
what
dude
have
bro.
you seen?
Yeah, you are, dude,
I
bro.
haven't seen Star Wars.
Oh.
Schwander edited an air raid
Most
siren.
people like threaten to assault me.
I mean, it makes me sad.
The hit's coming, don't worry.
Yeah.
It'll happen eventually.
You will.
but
You
I-
will see it. You will.
Honestly, well, actually,
I have all the VHSs.
That's not super.
That's adorable.
No, honestly, though, the reason I wanted you in on this is, and actually you've been making my point for me, is because, like, you're, not combative, but you're argumentative.
I mean, I am combative.
Yeah, but you're argumentative,
You'll find
but
it
in the, like, yeah, I know. In the debate kind of fashion,
Oh
though.
yeah. My mom's been giving me poop for years about not being a lawyer, but I'm like,
Hey, whatever.
It's more fun to not get paid.
Yeah, now here's an outlet for it. Yeah.
Wait, it's more fun to not get paid?
In this case.
I need to rethink my life.
Debating. I was going to make a prostitution joke, but I'm going to let it go.
Fine. Especially, like, nerd stuff like this. Like, that's the other thing, like my big game, like I play WoW, that's my big game. And I'm like, I'm sure there's somewhere in there where there's two female characters talking, somewhere in the multiverse of Warcraft. And it's not, I don't feel like playing.
Understandable.
It's like they do that in League of Legends. I don't play that much of League of Legends. My brother does, and I've watched him play. And
and then after 10 minutes, I tell him that looks fun. Get off the computer.
I wish. Actually, he let me do that one time. I played like a beginning. Anyway, that's not even the point. I only played like for 15 minutes. But there are a lot of female characters. Like there are female partners in the game, and like this person can be partnered up with this person. Like V is partnered. I don't even know. I really don't know. I just looked at the characters because their costumes were really cool. To be completely honest, and that's why I want to play the game.
Becca hasn't announced yet, but she's going to be a costume designer when she grows up.
Yes,
Probably, yeah.
I hope so. That would be great.
I am. Oh, actually, sort of tangent thought. So, while not protagonists, I've noticed in the last couple of years, motherly figures playing much more like imperative roles. Number one, actually, these two kind of go hand in hand, and I think, we talked about them with our whole like games as art thing. But Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, the whole game is Miyazaki telling the story of a child just dealing with the death of his mother that he was really close to. And then on the same kind of vein there, the independent title, The Unfinished Swan, more or less the same story. It's a young child coping with the death of his mother. That brings to light this new game that actually just came out that I'm probably going to buy today, called Child of Light on PlayStation 4. I think it's also on other systems, but I don't pay attention to stuff. But it's great, and it makes me feel, or brings to mind a lot of stuff that Disney's been doing lately with Frozen and stuff.
Not
with
Frozen.
Which I still have yet to see.
Sorry,
which
I did a cosplay this weekend of Elsa.
Turned out well.
That's why. Yeah, I do children's parties, so.
Yeah, we can
Hit
put up
me
a
up.
link.
We can. We will.
Children's parties, but that's the only thing is the whole Disney thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to get sued or anything by Disney. I'm
Yeah.
doing regular characters. I don't know.
Yeah, she wasn't Elsa. She was just
was-
nondescript Ice Queen.
Yes.
I feel like with
Exactly.
cosplay though, there's a certain acceptable.
But there is,
for
but
cosplay,
but
there
she
is,
was
but
getting-
I'm getting paid to do parties,
Well, I
which is
mean-
different as like a Disney
Yeah,
character.
I guess that's a little different, but I mean,
But cosplay wise, because you pay for it all yourself.
if you get sued, they're gonna bring this as evidence, and we're gonna get so many hits. Get
That's
played-
true.
Dude,
Yeah,
Becca.
that's really,
Becca,
Get sued.
Get sued. No.
Get sued.
That's really
No.
how the media works.
But,
You just
like,
gotta troll for lawsuits.
That's the thing. I had to explain this to my mother about it.
Character step 2 gets sued. Profit.
Well, see, no.
There's a question mark.
Cards against humanity.
Cosplaying as Disney characters would not get me sued because I am buying all the costumes myself. Nobody's paying me to do this. I'm doing it for recreational purposes. That's not going to get you sued. That's why people cosplay as video game characters and anime characters and all this stuff. But if I end up taking money for it, then it opens up a whole new
That could be
world of
liable.
lawsuits.
The cost is so it's
A
so
whole
prohibitively
new
expensive though, and
world.
like
I
if you
mean,
look at
nondescript song.
this is not nerd related at all, but there was a case like I'm big into beer, and Starbucks sued some little tiny brewery in like Arizona over calling some drink they had the Frappuccino, and it's like the guy's gotten so much free publicity from suing Starbucks, and like he sent him a check for $6. It's not.
That's great.
It's just really sad.
This is new for me. I have to go, people listening to the podcast.
Oh my God.
But I love you all.
Well, on that note, it's about time we pack up anyway.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it works out just
Good.
in time.
You guys
Well-
are just copying me.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Thank you guys for
You're just
listening.
so
We'll be
cool.
back next week with another topic. I'll let Nick pick again this time. We are nerds. We're many. I'm Schwander.
I'm Becca.
I'm Nick still.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Rob.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Uh,
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 uh, uh.